Hey, what's up makers? April Dunham here. Some of you may have noticed that I've been on a bit of a PCF control kick lately. And that's mostly thanks to my friend Yash, who shared with me several of these PCF controls that he's created. If you caught my previous videos, then you've seen me show off his export to Excel and print controls for Power Apps. So of course he has one more great one that I just really wanted to show off, and that's an iFrame PCF control. What this is going to allow you to do is take content from other websites and iFrame that in, surface that up inside of your Power Apps. This will open up the doors for you to have more power and more content in your apps. As always, I'm going to walk you through how to install it and how you use it coming up. Alright, so to get started, we need to go to Yash's GitHub, which I'll put a link to in the video and in the video notes. And we'll want to clone this folder in his repo for the iFrame PCF. To do that, click the code button and go to download zip. So we'll open that up in our Explorer, extract it out, and we'll take this iFrame solution file and import that as a solution in Power Apps. So to do that, let's go back to our browser. And we'll go to make.powerapps.com, click on the Solutions tab, then select Import. Now we'll click Browse, open up the iFrame PCF folder, select the iFrame solution, and click Open. Just click Next, and then Import. You'll see a message here in the ribbon that it's currently importing. It'll take a couple minutes there. Then we'll see the solutions show up here, and we can see the controls. So now we can start using this in our apps. So how we use this is going to be similar to the other components I've shown you. You'll click on the Components tab, select the three dots next to New Component, and select Import Components. Then we'll switch over to the Code tab at the top, and we should see our iFrame PCF right here. So we'll select that and select Import. Now where that will show up, if we click on our Screens tab again, and the plus, we'll see a Code Component section, and there our iFrame PCF component will be. So to add that into our app, just select the iFrame PCF component from the left nav tree view, click it, and that will add that onto the screen. Now it will just look like a blank rectangle, and there's only one property that we need to fill out for this. So if we click on the component itself that was added and click on the Properties dropdown in the upper left-hand side, the only thing we need to fill out is this source property. And this expects a URL. So this URL can be to any site as long as it supports iframing. So a good example of this is if you're using a Power App and you want to be able to pull in data, say from a SharePoint page, we could do that. So over here on my SharePoint instance, I have this page called The Landing, which has a lot of news on it. I could iframe this in on my Power App simply by copying this URL and pasting that here with inside the quotes in this source property of my PCF control. You see, as soon as I do, that populates it with this nice, easy to see iframe component of that SharePoint page. So now if I click play to preview this app, we see there is my SharePoint page with all of the news embedded here in my Power App. Pretty cool, right? Okay, so we've just seen how we can embed a SharePoint page in here with this component. What else can we do? So one of the things that I've used a lot in the past is Bookings, which is part of Office 365. So it's a pretty cool app that lets you sync up your schedule and your staff and allow people to make and book appointments. So this would be really cool to integrate within a Power App if you're wanting some kind of like schedule time with me or booking feature. So rather than reinvent the wheel and building that all in your Power App, maybe just link out through the Power App to Microsoft Bookings. So we can go to the Bookings page, copy that, add in another PCF iFrame component, and then paste that into the source property. And now not only do we have the ability to see our SharePoint page, now we can actually interact with Microsoft Bookings and schedule an appointment, all within our Power App. Other ideas of things that we can embed OneNote notebooks. Simply go to the notebook, click the Share tab, copy the link, paste that into the source, and now we can see our notebook. All right, so I'm just going to keep this short and simple. I've shown you a few examples of things that you can iframe in with this component. I will put a big caveat that I noticed there are certain sites that don't work correctly in this particular component. That obviously could be for various reasons, different authentication possibly being blocked. And that is an important point to point out here. With great power that these PCF controls bring comes great responsibility. So I know I've shown off a few of these now because they can bring so much extra functionality into your apps, but especially when you're using some of these free open source samples, you do have to keep in mind that things are constantly changing in Power Apps, so it is possible that an update could be pushed that would break the particular PCF control. So you just really want to make sure that you're aware of that and balancing the risk versus the rewards. Now, obviously, if you're developing one of these PCF controls yourself and you know how to maintain it and make changes if something does break, that makes it a little less risky than if you're using a community sample and if it broke, you wouldn't know how to even go into the code to fix it. So we just need to always be cognizant of that. Again, shout out to Yash for making all of these great PCF components. And if you have any ideas for other videos that you like, please let me know, drop a note in the comments. And if you found my content helpful, I really appreciate it if you would like, share, and subscribe to my channel. Catch you in the next video.